On August 6, 2015, we were recording trains at Norfolk Southern's Piqua Yard in Fort Wayne, Indiana. This facility served as a terminal hub for the Class I Railroad's now defunct Triple Crown service, an intermodal subsidiary that transported road railer semi-trucks in bulk over the Norfolk Southern network using specially designed bogie trucks. Founded in 1986 by Norfolk Southern, Triple Crown rapidly expanded, mainly serving the auto industry in the eastern U.S. and Canada, moving crucial parts and materials between factories along the railroad system. Strategically located between Detroit, Michigan, and St. Louis, Missouri, Piqua Yard was the epicenter for Triple Crown operations in the Hoosier State. Only a month after this video was recorded, Norfolk Southern announced that it would scale back Triple Crown operations to one route, Detroit to Kansas City, for auto parts due to the better economics of container trains. As a result, Piqua was closed that fall, with 200 employees let go. In 2024, Norfolk Southern merged Triple Crown with its thoroughbred direct intermodal services to form the modern-day Triple Crown Services Incorporated, now based in Pennsylvania. That year, the new company retired all road railer equipment, switching to intermodal containers to boost capacity and support new markets like Mexico. Ahead of its operations being scaled down in 2015, Triple Crown operated terminals in the following cities: Atlanta, Georgia; Bethlehem, Pennsylvania; Chicago, Illinois; Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas; Detroit, Michigan; Fort Wayne, Indiana; Harrisburg, Pennsylvania; Jacksonville, Florida; Kansas City, Missouri; Minneapolis, Minnesota; Sandusky, Ohio; and St. Louis, Missouri. Before Norfolk Southern, Conrail, and Penn Central took ownership, Piqua Yard was a key Pennsylvania Railroad facility used for humping and sorting freight cars on its lines west. Once one of the PRR's busiest yards in Indiana, Piqua was a shadow of its former self when we visited in 2015, with Triple Crown operations on the west end, while the Chicago, Fort Wayne, and Eastern used the east end. As Norfolk Southern ES40 DC number 7552 crept into the yard with a Triple Crown train in tow, a rare sight appeared on the main line: the Norfolk Southern Office Car Special, operating as Train 956. That day, it was running over the former Pennsylvania Railroad main line east of Fort Wayne into central Ohio. Leading the train were the railroad's gorgeous F-unit car bodies, assigned exclusively to business train service. These streamlined classics were rebuilt in 2006 by Juniata Shops in Altoona, Pennsylvania. They were modern machines despite resembling 70-year-old covered wagons, with mechanical systems equivalent to EMD GP38-2s and state-of-the-art electrical gear. On board was then Norfolk Southern President Jim Squires, along with other top officials, inspecting the line for future development. Earlier in the day, we caught the Pennsylvania Railroad Heritage Unit on this very same stretch of main line. Our first stop outside of Fort Wayne was Van Wert, Ohio, at the Diamond Crossing known as Control Point Estuary. Once shared with New York Central's Cincinnati Northern Railroad, which connected Jackson, Michigan to Cincinnati, Ohio, the Diamond still exists, but the Cincinnati Northern is long gone, removed quickly after Conrail was formed in 1976. From above, we captured the train passing Van Wert's historic courthouse, built in 1876. Next, we caught the train as it rolled through Delphus.
Get it up, home flight.
Our third stop was Lima, Ohio, where the Pennsy line crosses the CSX Toledo sub.
See Casey out.
After a CSX local cleared the Diamond, train 956 continued its eastward journey.
Trains back here, good shit. Sorry.
In Dunkirk, we filmed the train crossing the CSX Toledo branch. CP Kirk features an inactive but still standing interlocking tower now used by maintenance of way crews. Norfolk Southern staff photographer Casey Thomason was on hand, and from the air, we spotted him lining up the perfect shot as the train moved through town. Our final location was Upper Sandusky, Ohio, where the OCS crossed the CSX Columbus sub just south of Fostoria. Thank you for watching Delay in Block Productions. Until next time, happy railroading.